All right, man. Torture Talk After Hours. I'm back again. So today's episode, here's why the rap game will never respect Drake. And yeah, man, we gonna get into it. Let's go. All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I will be dropping episodes over here every day. I just had a bunch of different things going on, but I'm back, and probably twice a day or 3 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Will it be between 10, 4, and 8, somewhere around there. Those are times that these episodes will be dropping. So make sure you look out, hit that notification bell, and keep that notification up so you can stay up on Torture Talk After Hours. And go subscribe to Torture Talk if you haven't already subscribed. So let's get to it, man. Shout out to, I believe it's Rap Lore. Let's go.
No matter how many wins Drake racks up, the rap game will never fully respect him.
My back straight, I'm 10 toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever fuck me in my life.
For years, Drake reigned supreme as...
Yeah, you could tell he's trying to convince himself that, and the thing is, nobody asked for that. That's what Drake don't understand. All of the stuff that he's doing, nobody asked for it. He's just doing this because he's an insecure person about that battle. You know what I'm saying? That battle really ruined him. It really did, and a lot of people just don't want to admit it. And the crazy thing is, I believe a lot of his fans are insecure just like him when it comes to this battle. I don't know them personally, but I'm speaking on the battle. When it comes to this battle, a lot of his fans are insecure as well. So let's keep it going.
Hip-hop's biggest hit maker. Not only is he one of the best-selling artists in history, but he's also been credited for changing rap music forever. But here's the thing. Despite all the accolades, the rap game still refuses to accept Drake as one of their own. He might actually still be one of the most disrespected rappers out there. And after his brutal war with Kendrick Lamar last year, Drake's reputation in the industry has only tanked more and more. But where is all this hate coming from? That's exactly why we're doing a deep dive into every single reason why hip-hop refuses to respect Drake. How did Drake's lack of street credibility get used against him? Why did culture vulture allegations haunt his career? And why did Drake's biggest critics accuse him of having zero identity? We've even done a thorough analysis on how Drake's shady behind-the-scenes behavior painted a huge target on his back. How did Drake's sketchy industry moves, from lawsuits to banning one of his worst enemies from Canada, turn him into public enemy number 1? Finally, we're gonna take a closer look at how Drake is more isolated and vulnerable than ever before, including a shocking new lawsuit alleging that he faked billions of streams. It's starting to look like the rap game has finally abandoned Drake once and for all.
This is our dining room, and
I don't know, for some reason I felt like I did this episode already. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I did something similar to this, but let's keep it going anyway. Hey, let's act like we never did it. You know what I'm saying?
here's my mother, making notes as usual on probably some...
Exposing my to-do list.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, first things first, a lot of this disrespect goes back to Drake's childhood. Drake's origin story is drastically different from a lot of other rappers. He spent part of his childhood in Forest Hills, one of Toronto's most affluent neighborhoods. And before the world knew him as Drake, Aubrey Graham made a name for himself as a child star on the TV show Degrassi. While Degrassi may have given Drake his start, it's also been a huge thorn in his side. Drake's come up doesn't have any of the mystique or legendary status that lots of other rappers lay claim to. For example, 50 Cent was notorious for being shot 9 times. Jay-Z was infamous for funneling drug money into his own record label. Drake, on the other hand, was an actor from Canada trying to make it in a genre that prioritized street credibility. And with zero street ties, the entire industry labeled...
Yo, that's crazy how he was really in that role and he wheeled up in the wheelchair is nuts. I don't think I've seen this episode before, because I would have definitely remembered that. maybe I turned my head away for a second. I don't know, but God damn, that's funny.
Drake is soft on arrival. And to be fair, Drake didn't rebel against the so-called soft label. He even used it in his music to poke fun at it. He used his first top 10 charting single, Best I Ever Had, to shout out how he technically had more female fans.
When my album dropped, it's a bad for the picture and it's a bad too and claim they got it for their sister.
But as Drake got more famous, he earned tons of criticism from rap purists. He was blamed for injecting too much singing and R&B influence into hip-hop. Drake was eroding the barriers of rap.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's cat. I'll be honest. What I mean by that is, I always try to explain something, right? Stop mansplaining. What I mean by that is, that's cat, because they didn't say that about Lauryn Hill. They didn't say that about Ja Rule, 50 Cent. A bunch of rappers did that for a long time. They did a lot. They did a lot of rapping, but they also sung on hooks and stuff like that. Lauryn Hill, especially her, obviously she a female, but doesn't mean that all females gotta sing. But yeah, that's cap. That's cap. All you hip hop historians, y'all be capping. I'm telling you, hip hop historians be capping so much, bro. They be capping
rap music, and a lot of people just didn't fuck with it. Chicago rapper Common was one of the artists who decided to attack Drake for being, quote, sweet. Not only did Common mock Drake's singing, but also dissed him for his biracial Canadian roots.
You so black and white trying to live a nigga's life. I'm taking too long with this amateur guy.
Damn.
You ain't wetting nobody, nigga. You Canada dry.
That's a bar. From the very beginning, Drake's rise to fame divided other artists. While Drake had a career-making cosign and record deal from Lil Wayne, other artists felt that his soft image and lack of street cred was the opposite of what hip-hop stood for. Fans piled on, ruthlessly humiliating Drake for his role as Wheelchair Jimmy on Degrassi and circulating behind-the-scenes footage of young Drake just doing very cringy stuff, like the time he got mad at his mom for buying him the wrong sandwich.
I clearly said, hey, can you please get me a tuna sandwich?
Oh, I thought you were kidding, because you don't.
Oh, yeah, because
Because you don't.
I definitely pull a joking about a tuna sandwich that I wanted.
You like chicken salad.
I'm just a regular comedian over here.
But while fans debated if Aubrey Graham was authentic enough for hip-hop, Drake was proving to be the industry.
Yeah, man. On a tuna sandwich. I like tuna sandwich, I ain't gonna lie. You ever had a tuna hoagie? Tuna, well, some of y'all don't know what that is. I would say it's on a long roll with tuna. So light mayo, lettuce, tomato, onions. Yeah, it's making me hungry now. But yeah. But he said he wanted a tuna sandwich, tuna toast on a bagel. Everything bagel. You ever had an everything bagel? Them Jones is nasty as hell. I'm like, what the hell is this? I threw that joint in the trash. Like, get out of here. Everything bagel.
His biggest success story. His first album, Thank Me Later, moved damn near 500,000 copies in its first week. That was a fire tape, I'm not gonna lie. His second album, Take Care, was a critically acclaimed phenomenon that won Drake his first ever Grammy for Best Rap Album. No matter what people said about Drake's background, he was clearly here to stay.
I grew up and still live in Toronto, the city of Toronto, where the rappers are polite and the mayor smokes crack.
But as Drake became more famous, his controversies became more and more complicated. In 2013, Drake dropped a new single called Started From the Bottom. The song hit number 6 on the Billboard Top 10 and earned Drake a grip of Grammy nominations. While Started From the Bottom was a massive hit record, it also triggered conversations about what bottom Drake was technically referring to. Some fans accused Drake of cosplaying Coming From the Struggle. There was footage all over the internet of a teenage Drake bragging about how he had an entire floor of a house to himself. But now he was fronting like he had crawled his way out of poverty. In a genre where countless artists found success after battling homelessness or enduring gang violence, Drake making Started From the Bottom rubbed people the wrong way just a little bit. No matter how...
I don't know. I think people take Started From the Bottom. I think they, obviously something's wrong with you if you think black people are at the bottom. Let's just be honest. If your whole thing is black people are at the bottom, listen, I know there's a lot of us in struggles, trust me, but we all ain't at the bottom. And some rappers never started from the bottom either. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, but I don't think that that's what he meant, started from the bottom. I think he was saying, like, as a MC who wasn't respected, he started from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Like basically, like I started from down here as a no name MC. I think y'all attached that to him, and that's wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he was saying he started from the bottom of the hood. Like no, no. How could he have said that? How could Drake have said he started from the bottom of the hood when he wasn't even hood? He didn't know anything about that. Like no, I'm not gonna. I listen. You already know me. I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I ain't gonna lie either. Like, I'm sorry. That's just what it is.
Catchy or how hot the song was, Drake seemed as if he was getting less authentic, and some accused him of exaggerating his street ties. In a 2011 interview with Complex, Freddy Gibbs warned Drake against flagrantly throwing up gang signs. Quote, Drake be throwing up gang signs and shit, I be seeing whatever the fuck he's throwing up. I don't know. He go to the wrong place and he'll be fucked up. It's just the nature of the times. It's cool to be that corny wearing the little jeans now, I guess. But Drake's authenticity was really put to the test in.
Well, wait a minute. Is he really throwing up gang signs? Or maybe he is throwing up gang signs because he was down with Wayne and them. But you can't say, if you around somebody or you affiliated with people, you can't tell that man he can't throw up gang signs. First of all, you ain't in the gang either. Well, at least I don't believe Freddy Gibbs is in the gang. So how are you going to say that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just I'm just trying to give y'all a different take on this whole thing. Yeah, I mean, sound like I'm defending Drake a little bit, but hey, sometimes it is what it is. Like, hey.
2015. That year, Meek Mill accused Drake of relying on ghostwriters to pen some of his biggest songs. He even leaked reference tracks from a relatively unknown Atlanta rapper named Quentin Miller. In those reference tracks, Quentin Miller can clearly be heard giving Drake the flow and lyrics to big, well-known records like Know Yourself. The ghostwriting allegations were a huge red flag. In the culture, writing your own rhymes was a foundational part of being a rapper. Having someone else write your own lyrics for you was seen as an absolute career ender. But Drake doubled down and defended himself. In a 2015 interview with Fader, Drake said, quote, I need individuals to spark an idea so that I could take off running. I don't mind that, and those recordings, they are what they are, and you can use your own judgment on what they mean to you. Now, Drake is hardly the—
Damn. That comeback was crazy. You're like, listen, I don't write my own stuff, so shut the fuck up. Yeah, I need an idea. Like, bro, yeah, I think that not writing your own lyrics and not writing your stuff is definitely was seen as a cardinal sin in hip hop. But for some reason, Drake got a pass. It's a bunch of people who gets passes on certain things in hip hop, and he is one of those people. I would say he's one of the biggest persons to get the biggest pass. The whole purpose of rapping and doing hip hop is for you to write your own stuff. It's gotten to the point now where people actually they just don't care. They just want to hear it from you. Even if you didn't write it, it could be your greatest song of all time. They don't care. You just want to hear you say it. Like, it's crazy.
First rapper to use ghostwriters. Other big name artists like Dr. Dre, Kanye West, and Diddy are notorious for having other people write for them.
Now, I know he probably going to say this, but I'm going to say it. Well, the difference between them is they're producers. And they don't really need, and he was open about it. So I believe that. He might say that. I'm not sure. I didn't see this yet. But most likely he's probably going to say that.
The difference in Drake's case is that those other artists entered the industry as producers, and it's been seen as acceptable for producers to solicit work from other rappers. Drake's approach, though, came off as way shadier. Some rappers felt that Drake's reference track usage was hijacking the art form entirely, and that by using other writers to make his music, Drake was basically pushing hip-hop in a more pop-fueled direction. On his Drake diss song Infrared, Pusha T used the ghostwriting rumors to paint Drake as a full-fledged industry plan.
When the CEOs blinded by the glow is different. Believe in myself, in the Coles and Kendricks. Let the sock puppets play in they roles and gimmicks.
If you
Bro, this guy Pusha T, man, he's a menace. I never caught that bar. I want to hear that again.
Industry plan.
When the CEOs blinded by the glow is different. Believe in myself, in the Coles and Kendricks.
Oh, he said, believe in myself, the Coles and Kendricks. That's what he said. I thought he said the Codes and Kendricks. Yeah.
Let the sock puppets play in they roles and gimmicks.
If you break it down, Pusha was basically saying that on one side there's quote real hip hop and that authentic rappers like him, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar carry that torch. But on the other side, there's Drake, a quote sock puppet who recites what other people writes for him. The ghostwriting allegations forced a lot of people to take a side. Was Drake a legitimate rapper, or was he a pop star who used hip hop as a way to get famous?
Like, this nigga Drake, you gotta listen to this. So he plays this shit. I hear da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then there's also the culture vulture controversy. Across Drake's entire career, he's been accused of cultural appropriation, meaning that he steals styles and sounds outside his experience. The most obvious example of this is Drake's non-stop accent work. This man is notorious for talking, singing, and rapping in countless different accents. Sometimes he sounds British, sometimes he sounds Jamaican, sometimes he raps in horrible Spanish with Bad Bunny. And while Drake's, let's call it a culturally fluid style, has led to some pretty big records, it's also created plenty of confusion. Some say that Drake deciding to speak in a Jamaican accent is homage to Toronto's huge Jamaican population, but on the other hand, Drake is not Jamaican at all, and speaking in an obviously fake accent is kind of a weird way to pay tribute to your city. But
yeah, I never agreed with that. I never agree with that. I think artists who jump on other people's stuff and they try to use their accent or that's clearly culture appropriation. Like, come on. Like, look, I don't care what artist does that. If you jumping on a song and you got, let's say you got people who are Jamaican descent on your song and you are rapping like you're Jamaican, like, come on, bro. If you use it a little slightly, okay, cool. But if you are rapping like that the whole way, I just seen a song with Drake, a new song where Drake was rapping like he was Caribbean. Like, all right, Doug. And a lot of people didn't hear that song. It's new. A lot of people didn't even know he dropped the new song. It's crazy how Drake drops so much music that you don't even realize it.
this goes deeper than just accents. Drake has long been accused of hijacking other rappers' styles for himself. One of his biggest songs ever, Hotline Bling, was originally released as a remix to another song called Cha Cha. Cha Cha was a modest hit from the Virginia rapper named Dram. But when Hotline Bling started to catch on fire, Drake stopped promoting the record as a remix and treated it like an original song. Dram responded by saying, quote, "I feel like my record got jacked." And something eerily similar.
Bro. Yo, what you mean? You feel like your record got jacked, but I'm good. What? He took your whole record, man. Yo, you niggas is wild funny. I don't know, maybe he paid you, I don't know. But that's crazy how you jump on a remix and then turn the song into his song. Get over 1 billion streams and you don't get nothing for it. Like, what? Yo, you dudes is wild funny, man. Oh my God.
Happened to XXXTentacion. His debut single, Look at Me, became a massive multi-platinum hit after it went viral on SoundCloud. But just months after Look at Me blew up, Drake dropped a song called KMT where he used a damn near identical flow. X responded by calling Drake a bitch and accused him of jacking his style.
If he would have showed that he's a hospitable person and that he's really in this shit for the culture, rather than being taking my shit, running off with it and then putting it on his album, then he would have got my kudos, he would have got my respect. I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% royalty rate. I would have done it.
The X controversy is another symbol.
Yeah, you niggas is bugging. Rest in peace to X, but you niggas is bugging. You would have let him hop on it and gave him a 100% royalties. What the fuck? Hell no. He would have got a percentage, but not 100%. It's your song. What you mean? Like, yo, this is what I mean. Like, when I say a lot of hip hop artists, they give Drake a pass. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is about him or why they do this. I just don't.
the culture vulture allegations. Instead of helping an up-and-coming artist, it looks like Drake flat out ripped off his style. And when Drake was confronted about the similarities between Look at Me and KMT, Drake denied ever hearing X's song in the first place. Which is damn near impossible to believe because Look at Me was literally everywhere. That song was huge.
What was the...
Yo, nigga, you a liar. This nigga's a liar, bro. Yo, you a liar. That's crazy for you to say. You never heard the song. Dog, you literally rapped exactly how he rapped. He made that style up. No one else was doing that. No one was doing that style. He made it up, and you took the style, and now you're saying that you never heard it. Bro. Yo, this is why niggas hate you, bro. Because you a liar. This is why. You could have said, I was inspired by that. Yo, but you gotta lie, bro. It's crazy.
Response you get as a Canadian black Jewish rapper?
I think the details of my like background kind of came afterwards.
But one of the loudest critiques against Drake has always been that he doesn't have a real identity. Across Drake's career, he's been known to sample other well-known regional sounds. He claimed ties to cities like Memphis, Houston, New Orleans, London, and Atlanta. And while Drake's diverse sound palette has supercharged his streaming numbers, it also made some other rappers question how authentic he really is. In fact, some have said that Drake's obsession with riding other cities' waves is damn near predatory. The biggest example of this is easily Drake's connection to Atlanta. As trap music exploded in popularity during the mid-2010s, Drake swooped in to capitalize on the city's movement. Kendrick Lamar went as far as to compare Drake's Atlanta ties to being a colonizer on Not Like Us.
You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer.
Yeah. Bruh. I'm gonna tell you right now, every time I hear Not Like Us, I get chills, man. Every time, bro. When I hear Not Like Us, it's a perfect song, bro. He really did his thing. He did Drake so bad in that song, man. It's like Not Like Us is like it's like, how would I say this? Not Like Us is like, it's like a household name now. It's like, it's crazy to me, man. It's so crazy.
A lot of critics have alleged that Drake's addiction to trend hopping masks a much deeper issue. That deep down, Drake has no real values other than being rich and famous. Kendrick Lamar said practically this exact same thing about Drake on the song Meet the Grams.
Identities on the fence, don't know which family will love you. The skin that you living in is compromised in personas.
Kendrick is pretty much saying what a lot of Drake's ops from Pusha T to Joe Budden have been saying for years. That Drake's image as a rapper isn't rooted in any kind of specific backstory or struggle. Instead, there are so many versions of Drake that it's impossible to tell who the real Drake is. I mean, there's London Drake, there's Mob Ties Drake, there's Jamaican Drake, there's Atlanta Drake, there's Crying at the Strip Club Drake, there's way too many Drakes. And critics say that he just changes personas whenever it suits him. And while Drake's constant personality switch,
I think the reason why he does that is because I actually have an episode coming up, Ideologies of Black America. And I think that he does this, it's similar to what it's not exactly how that is, but it's similar. But he tries to do it to fit in because he don't know where he stands at. Sometimes just being yourself, people love that because it's different from them. But when you walk into a space and you basically trying to be like them every time, you just, like, people look at you a certain way. They either look at you like, oh, this guy want to be us, or or they look at you like, yeah, man, I don't really fuck this dude like that. It could be a bunch of reasons.
May have turned him into a superstar. It's also a huge reason why other rappers just don't rock with him.
And the basic allegations that Spotify is complicit in the use of bots to fake streams. They mentioned one artist as an example, That is Drake.
But the number one reason why hip-hop doesn't fuck with Drake is definitely the lawsuits. In the last year alone, Drake's stock has crashed considerably. Not only did he get handed a historic L during his battle with Kendrick Lamar, but Drake's ultimate response to losing the battle was to get his lawyers to sue. While Drake didn't sue Kendrick directly, his case against UMG seemed like an underhanded tactic to change public perception around the battle. In that lawsuit, Drake alleged that UMG promoted Kendrick's diss track and artificially boosted their streaming numbers just so they could ruin Drake's reputation and make it easier for them to re-up their contract with him. And here's the thing, suing your way out of a rap battle is universally seen as a bitch-made move. Instead of taking the L and moving on, Drake's decision to take the battle into court only did more damage to his reputation. Making things even worse is that the judge presiding over Drake's defamation suit dismissed the case in October of 2025.
Yeah, man. I didn't do this. Yeah, because this is all recent. Well, at least some of it, but maybe he recycled some stuff. Oh, obviously he did, because I think he did an episode similar to this before. But, yeah, no one can ever tell me anything about this battle. That battle, to me, just showed the level of different MCs in the world, and it showed me that Drake was on top. It was kind of a manufactured topping, I would say. They put him there, but you see how quickly one guy took him out. Quickly, within 4 days. Now, don't get me wrong, Drake is still relevant, obviously, because we're talking about him. But he doesn't have the same power that he had before. Now it's more like people just pointing the finger at him and just, what's the name? I'll be honest with y'all, he got to be a strong guy, because it's a lot of finger pointing at Drake. He has to be a strong guy. I'm not going to lie.
While sources say that Drake plans to file an appeal and keep the case going, the whole situation has only depleted what little respect Drake had left. And this seems to be a pattern with Drake. Multiple rappers, from former collaborators to longtime ops, have alleged that Drake uses shady, behind-the-scenes tactics in order to retaliate against enemies. Pusha T, who might just be Drake's arch-nemesis, argued that Drake had him banned from entering Canada after he dissed him on the story of Adidon. Pusha also alleged that Drake's allies in the music industry were censoring his music to the point that his collab record with Kendrick Lamar, Chains and Whips, was delayed over a year. Quote, they wanted me to ask Kendrick to censor his verse, which of course I was never doing, and then they wanted me to take the record off. Rick Ross, who's worked with Drake for over a decade, has also accused him of sending cease and desist notices to their mutual friend French Montana.
I unfollowed you because you sent them up and cease and desist to French Montana.
Judging from the allegations made by Pusha and Ross, Drake seemed to rely on a lot of underhanded, backroom moves in order to hurt his enemies.
You know, the crazy thing is, if you had to listen to anybody about Drake, you should always listen to Rick Ross. He was to me, he was the closest out of all the rappers that is beefing with him. Future, yeah, maybe, but he's not beefing with him like that. Young Thug's not beefing with him, but he was the one. So when he said he sent a cease and desist letter to French Montana, who was one of the Splash Brothers, you gotta ask yourself, man, why he do that? That's crazy.
And while some people might argue that that's just the art of war, plenty of rap fans will say that it's sneaky shit like this that makes them not f with Drake. Drake's history of suing and sending cease and desists just makes him look like a snitch. But the irony is that Drake's secret weapon is now being used against him. On November 3rd of 2025, a bombshell class action lawsuit accused Drake of having billions of fraudulent streams on Spotify. According to court documents, Drake has allegedly been manipulating his Spotify numbers, potentially costing other artists millions of dollars in streaming payouts. If the lawsuit is successful, it really might be the final nail in the coffin for Drake's reputation. A huge part of Drake's legacy depends on on the idea that he's one of the most successful artists of all time. But this case alleges that his title as one of the top streaming artists might be a total scam, and it could have huge implications for the entire music industry. And adding insult to injury, the person who filed the lawsuit in the first place is a rapper named RBX, who happens to be Snoop Dogg's cousin. RBX has been a huge part of hip-hop history, appearing on some of the most revered albums of all time like Dr. Dre's The Chronic, Eminem's Marshall Mathers LP, and his cousin Snoop's legendary debut Doggy Style. Now he's accusing Drake of essentially stealing money out of his pocket. If this isn't proof that hip-hop doesn't f with Drake, I don't even know what is anymore. And if you want to know...
Yeah, that was a pretty good episode. All right, man. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. 4 o'clock show is coming up. See y'all. Peace. Bye.